straight to the issue of external influences, and that I would really like our dad to talk about this, and I want us to pay attention. I studied extensively about marriage some years ago, and there was a statistics, the top 3 reasons why marriages fail, sir. The first being money issues. We're going to come to that. And the second issue being intimacy issues, and but the third issue is in-laws and external influences from families who have an idea that when you get married they send 2 children to come to you, and the husband is uncomfortable, or have a mother-in-law who just bumps into the house and says it's my son's house. All these complexities, they are destroying a lot of couples. Daddy, talk to us, sir. We are young people. What exactly should be the approach of a Christian in-law? Your son-in-law is here and your daughter, and what should be the approach? This is to our parents and to many who will be listening. What exactly should be the approach? And for a young man and woman who are bleeding right now because of the impact of what the in-laws have done in the marriage, what do you have to say, sir?
I think maybe if I will start, if the church really will be what is supposed to be to the world, to lead speaking, I think everybody must work towards being independent financially. You see, if you are married to in-laws that are financially independent, you have a son-in-law that is financially independent, I think we'll have a better world.
That's true.
Yes. But you see, where you don't have that, then you see, I'll say the first thing I advise couple. You see, for me as a father-in-law, and for my life, I vowed in life that I will never depend on anybody. And I think that has been the secret of my life. So when I got married and I discovered, I told you I was a teacher. I teach in primary school, not in A-level. Is that right? So I was a teacher, in secondary school. And I know I have very lean resources that day. I used to tell my children, then they were so young, they didn't know it. There are instances that I didn't have money, that I would once be searching my pocket. Maybe I forgot a coin in one of the dresses, so that I can use it for the day, until when the Lord took me out of that. But you see, even when I was suffering, I made up my mind I was not going to depend on my parents, because I discovered one thing: when we just got married, my parents were saying all kind of things to the family, and my mother would like to dictate what I would, the way I should relate with my wife and other things like that. And I said, no, I don't even want anything from you. And
sorry, Daddy, just to he said something that just touched me now. I have had the privilege of counseling people whose mother-in-laws or mothers run the homes of the children. They tell how many children should come. They tell how much money should go. Is that true? Do we have people with these kinds of experiences? And so this has destroyed so many people. The husband is earning this, the wife is earning this. There are situational report that has to go to the father or the mother. They have to smuggle out money from the family to cater for the needs of in-laws, and the mother said, I suffered for my son, I must enjoy my sweat. And then they call the wife a witch. The complexity around in-laws and families are too much, and that is I have seen families where I'm the first son, he is the first and only son. I don't know about the rest, but then we have this you're the first son too, so I think we can relate in a way to this. I have a responsibility. My parents are retired, both of them, and by the grace of God, as much as God has blessed me, I take care of them. My sister is here. Baby, wave your hand, let them know you're here, enjoying life free of charge. I pay the price for everything. She's not married yet. Are you getting the point now? I mean, if you give her something for wedding, maybe a shrebiti, so she'll just tell you to forward it to me to pay the money for all of those kinds of things. So I mean, she's enjoying, and I have to take care of her. You see that kind of thing. Now, the truth about the matter is, my getting married will not stop that responsibility, as it were. Where then is the balance of my responsibility as an elder son to my parents, because they are retired? I cannot sit down and watch my mother die, but I cannot wreck my home out of self-centeredness because I'm trying to take care of them. Where then is the balance? how much should a young man pay attention to his family, the family he's coming from, as to paying attention to his wife? What would you have to say, sir?
You know, when it comes to family issues, there's the principle that I always feel. You see, if it is adopted, it will work well for a family. You see, like if you have a Jimmy, you have hope. You see, like hope should not relate to me financially. And I think, you see, it's better I go through a Jimmy. Wow. I'll learn to respect a Jimmy very well, because I know if I break my relationship with him, nothing will come out of it. Wow. But if I'm relating with hope, I will certainly disrespect you. The same thing too, if the family of a Jimmy is relating to Jimmy and not hope, if they can get something from him and not through hope, they will never respect hope. Wow. So you see, we must create an environment where the family will respect every member of that. Once that happens, then you see, remarkable. Yes. You see that the respect for the whole family.
Did you get what he's saying? I'm telling you, I'm learning. This is a new revelation for me. Prof is saying that to show how much he's interested in keeping his son-in-law and his daughter, the marriage, working, he would rather relate to the husband. Yes, she's his daughter, but if there is any major communication, he will be involved as a sign that his authority and his place is respected. By the time he starts having dealings, whether finance or otherwise, discussing secret things with hope about her husband that does not concern this, she's already sowing a seed of discord. There is a party spirit going on there. I think that this is very instrumental, and many parents should learn. Are we together now? If a Jimmy's, his mom's gone to be with the Lord, lovely woman, but if his dad has he has to relate directly to him and ignore hope, chances are that their communications will be biased, and that will build with time. It will start building hatred and resentment. So that is giving us something really profound, that he would rather go through his son-in-law to his own daughter, who has now become a Jimmy's wife. So as far as God's organogram is concerned, her place as a wife is more superior to God than her place now as his daughter, because he has given her. And the Bible says, therefore shall a man leave, not go out for a while, leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they two will become one flesh. Amazing, amazing. Sir, should in-laws interfere with the happenings in the homes of their children? What I mean is, assuming Ogasheun and his wife right now, where is the place, what is the access point to which their parents can just bump in? We've seen in-laws step in to warn the man. We've seen in-laws step in to say, you are mistreating my wife, and some can even come and carry the daughter back home. You know, that kind of thing. Where is the place of in-laws? Because sincerely, in-laws have destroyed homes, they have destroyed families with their self-centeredness and their bias. So where is the place of this balance, sir?
You know, there's only one way to stop this, sir. You see, like, once you see husband and wife have a very good understanding and respect for one another, you see, they cover one another. You see, my life, no matter who I'm relating with, I enlarge my heart so that I don't see anything bad about you. I always believe as a human being I have a lot of shortcomings, and I need people I will relate who cover my shortcomings. Not that they don't tell me to build it, but you see, you can advise me at the same time, still respect me and honor me despite those shortcomings. No. The same thing too, you're going to relate with your wife, the wife will relate with the husband. He has a lot of shortcomings. If you don't have a large heart, your eyes will always be focused. I think the world sees the negative more than the positive. You see, I'm going to call my wife today to tell a lot of things about me, all the good things I've done for her. She's not likely going to see one, but she's going to see 101 things I've done wrong. I think even in news, you see the world reports the negative and not the positive. I think I was reading over the internet, and they posted a picture of one police woman. They said she was able to fish out a terrorist group and stop them from carrying out the operation. But nobody reported the case. But you see, the cases, instances where the terrorists succeeded, they talk so much about it, and then the person who was able to avert it, I think they should have talked more. So the war reports negative than the positive. So in a relationship, we are likely going to take in the negative and not the positive. And that's why you see, like, if you're going into a relationship, enlarge your heart, so that you see, come what may. You see, I'll say this, that truly speaking, no pressure should make you tell a relation of yours what your husband is doing wrong. If you cannot tolerate it, at best see a man of God, or see a very close friend. I believe a man of God certainly will be a better person to see than even if your father is a pastor. Don't see him, because when it comes that time, his mind must change.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So if you're relating it and you are taking it, you see, like, if hope covers Jimmy and does not allow me to see any negative thing about him, I'm going to honor him.
That's right.
In all situation. But the moment she allows me to see anything negative about him, then you see, I'm certainly by nature, I'm supposed to tolerate hope more than Jimmy. I think you know it's like that. I tolerate, but you see, that's why children find it difficult to live with other parents. You see that they may receive better treatment from other parents than their parents. But the moment the people do a little thing, because God has created in our heart a soft spot for people who are relations than those who are not our relations. And once we understand it, then you see, like, we try to keep whatever that is not going on well in the family to ourselves. And if the pressure is so much that we cannot bear it, we should see a more spiritually sound brother who will give us godly counsel. You see, there are counsel. I've known instances where you have so much pressure and you meet a man of God, he talks to you as if he has lifted up of you. And you see, sometimes too, like I said, relationship where you keep these things and you pray over it. You see, I know I had problem with my wife very well when we were about 9 years of marriage or so. In fact, I never knew that we were going to survive that prayer. But you see, I kept on fasting, I kept on praying. And then you see, there was a day I was sleeping. And then I just knew I was carrying a load like this. And then in the dream, the load fell off my head. And you see that it was engulfed on fire. And then I saw me come out of one place. You see, after that, you see, the Lord just gave me a heart. Very pure and clean heart. That when my wife came and she was talking about the issues, I was just laughing. And I think the heart the Lord created for me, it was flowing and dissolved everything. And since then, we have never had any. I'm not saying we've not had differences, but we have never had any differences that will threaten our existence as a family.
Wow. Amazing. I wish we had more time, but then on a final note, we have to move to other issues, but then I think I want to point out something that they have all said, and particularly Daddy Prof has said. I teach the School of Ministry students, and one of the courses is ministry or personal transformation, really. I teach on what I call the organogram of priorities, how that a man must know the levels of his priority in life. And this is the templates that I give the students, that the first priority of any man is maintaining his relationship with God, his submission to the authority of the Christ. The second priority of that man is his family, not in-laws, not his mother and father. His family, meaning his nuclear family, his wife and children. And under family, his first priority is to his wife and not children. She was the reason why they came. She's the reason why they will live safely. They are only there for 10, 20 years and then they will leave. So your organogram of priority should be: number one, to God, your submission to God; number two, your wife; number three, your children. Are we together now? Then the submission to your assignment, right? and then relationships and other things. Every time you break that rank, there will be trouble. If you exalt children more than your wife, there will be trouble. You exalt wife or husband more than God, there will be trouble. So we need to get back to rearranging those priorities again. There is absolutely nothing in my life personally that can take the place of God. There's no point even asking a debate on it. You see that? When I get married, my priority will shift automatically. I'll still love Koinonia. I love everybody with all my heart, but the moment I get married, I can miss Koinonia to maintain my relationship with my wife, and I'll do it without praying about it, without fasting about it. There will be no apologies whatsoever. I will make sure that when I come for Koinonia, I come with my wife happy. There's no faking it to come around and they say such a humble man, and the woman is saying this devil of a man. No. It must be resolved at home before we come to the pulpit. And then my children also, you see, well, I didn't have the best of experience with my dad. I don't want to go into all those details, we don't have time, but I really plan to be an award-winning father, and every gentleman here should be pressing towards that. I've seen their children, all of them here. I mean, Hope and the rest, they're award-winning children. Pastor Alpha, we've seen all their children, award-winning children, and these children were raised intentionally. It was not a mistake. Are we together now? So I think that the lesson we need to get here, if I'm to draw two things, is the fact that the fear of the Lord cannot be downplayed in any area of family life. Notice how they keep making reference to God, the fear of the Lord, and then keeping priorities right. Praise the Lord. That is I mean, it's very interesting to sit close to your son-in-law and be discussing on this subject. What would you say is the one problem of the younger generation as compared to the perspective of the people within your age range? What is different about your priorities for marriage and relationship as against what we prioritize now? Yes, sir.
Seriously, if I'm going to say this in a sentence, I would say that this generation depends more on their eyes,
wow,
than their spirit man.
Now that's a father speaking, so you pay attention. This generation depends more on their eyes than their spirit man, which is dangerous. The Bible warns us with multiple scriptures to be careful, because the eyes can deceive. And go ahead, sir.
You know, like if you see this generation, when I was growing up, I think I said it to some people maybe some months back. You see, the houses we saw in the villages those days as mansions. If I go there now, I just feel as if they were built for guinea pigs. So you see, like in your own generation, I think you're growing up and you see so many things that are fanciful. You see, like when we were growing up, everybody was wretched around you. So you didn't see a distinction between a rich man and a poor person. So you see, when it comes to a matter of choice of a wife, we depended so much on our heart, what our heart was saying, and not what the eye sees. But you see, in this generation, because we see different type of people, different type of these things, we don't allow our heart to speak. We are controlled by what we see. There's every tendency, your mind will be talking to you about someone, but you tend to see the future of the person you see, what is associated with him at that particular time. And I want to just say this, that many of the ladies I see today, that if I was young and you were my wife, you might not have married me. You see, at the time I approached my wife, at that time I was a teacher, sir.
That's right.
And you see, there was somebody who proposed to her that was already a major general in the army.
Now, like pay attention. Hold on, sir. Let's not let this just pass like that. We need to press it in, because there's a time to laugh and there's a time to be serious. I think this is one of those times. Let's pay attention and understand something very interesting that we can glean from the wisdom of well over 30-something years of marriage. Because there's something our daddy is saying that if we do not pay attention to, we might miss out on it. Are we together? Now, that is telling us that at the time when he was proposing to his wife, he was a teacher. But there was someone else who had proposed to her. Am I right, sir?
Yes.
Who was a major general in the army. Go ahead, sir.
Praise the Lord. You see, like, I will tell you that even myself, I was afraid. But all along, she kept reassuring me that it was not riches she was interested in, but what the Lord was telling her and her heart towards me. And we later on got married. You see, I think that has controlled my heart all through our 30 years of relationship. You see, whatever I want to do to her, I will always think back. That you see, if it is whatever I am today, she so thinks better than that. And she sacrificed for me. And that's why I vowed to that I'm going to make every sacrifice to see that she's comfortable. To get to
Wow. You know, I have a very creative mind. My mind works like a calculator. You cannot imagine how many questions are already roaming around my mind, seeking for expression.